A little bit about Apple today. The reason I want to talk about Apple is because the amount of the index that it basically contains is 40% on the NASDAQ. So 40% of the NASDAQ futures are based upon the price of Apple. So we've had a huge move in Apple of late, as everybody knows. We've had an upgrade to the Magic 200 level. We passed 150. The stock is worth more than any stock in history at $800 billion. And I think that if you know why this has been running, which it has been very news heavy after the earnings, which were not that great. This is all part of the game in that the stock is really kind of finishing a powerful move that it's had over the last year from about 80, I want to say 80, what was it, right around 89, just last April, last May 10th. So from May 10th, we're 1 year out now. We went from 90 up to 155. And that's $60 or quite a bit, really about a 70% move that we've seen in Apple in a year. So my guess is that this move is probably extended. The fundamentals now don't line up with the stock price, and we're at one of those times probably where this will see a bit of a pullback. So the areas that I'll be watching, this is a daily chart. Our point of control is still back here at 75. We're nowhere near that. But if you start looking at an hourly chart, you start to see a little bit more clarity. And this goes back to half a year. And somewhere in that 144 area makes a lot of sense, really 148 to 144. And I think that could happen swiftly. If that does happen and we roll over here and do pull back, you will see the NASDAQ also respectively pull back sharply. Today even, you've seen this. Apple is down 1. And the NASDAQ today, although the S&P is fairly flat, the NASDAQ is down about 0.25%. And I want to bring that in just to show you. So this greatly influences the way that the NASDAQ has been expanding to high prices, and also why the S&P hasn't, and the Dow. Still, I believe this is basically, you're looking at a one stock market. The only reason the NASDAQ has run like this, and you can see this move from 54.15 up to 56.80, nearly 300 points here in the last 3 weeks, is because of the again, the amount of Apple that sits in that index. So let's come back to Apple. The same time, here is where Apple was less than 3 weeks ago, and that was again that same range, 140. So it went from 140 to 155, over 10% in 3 weeks in Apple. Folks, we're not talking about a small cap company here. We're talking about currently an $800 billion company. Again, the only thing that can take this up is further news. All the news is out. The earnings are out. They weren't great. So I'm of the belief that this was a blow-off move temporarily. You're going to see a pullback in Apple. Hence, you'll see a pullback in the NASDAQ over the next couple weeks.